XRP Army, it's time for y'all to pay attention. The XRP/USD rate has been broken, which was always going to happen. Okay, XRP. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are being used instead of regular money by some people. The rest of the world is becoming more aware of the US dollar. It doesn't work. No one is getting anything good out of this setup. The government is the only one who does it. The worth of money can go down if the government prints it. And of course, takes your money. There you have it. Let's move on to today's movie, which is about news and other really important things I think you should know. I don't give any money tips in this movie. Please remember that. See the warning below, click on it to read it. Let's talk about it then. Okay, the first thing I want to draw your attention to is the US national debt. I really need to stress this very important point. They talk about a lot of debt, but there is actually a lot of debt. The real amount is $161 trillion. 0 cents, not $36 trillion. 0 cents, as they say. Every taxpayer needs to pay a bill for $914,000. 0 cents. Let me explain. I'm talking about this because going in this direction is not possible. This is the exact reason why people are switching from cash to crypto. Everyone knows that the average user can't do much about the government spending money it prints. Those two groups spend a lot of money on each other. It's really abolished. Some things will help and some things will hurt the markets in the short term. As I said, it would. XRP has already gone down a little. Still, I have some great news about that we'll talk about soon. It does look like it has more room to fall. First, let us talk about the facts that have been going around lately. It's here Trump has said that things from the EU and Mexico will be taxed 30% more than they are now. It was only a few days ago that he said he would tax Canada. You should know that the EU and Mexico are not the only ones who love them. This is a list of everyone who got extra taxes. You can see people 30 and older in Canada, 35. One more is South Africa. On this list, there are also South Korea, Kazakhstan, the Philippines, and a lot of other places, right? This tax is being put in place for what reason? I haven't heard what Trump has to say about this yet, but the market seems to think that he is using tariffs as a bargaining chip once more to get a better deal. Take a look at Brazil, which has 50% taxes. These numbers are pretty big, right? It's not a small number and it needs our full attention. At this point, everyone is paying close attention because these tax rates have only been talked about a few times before. It was pretty bad for the markets, but now people think they know what's going on and the markets won't hurt anymore. But listen, there's still one thing that makes me not sure. There are a lot of technical signs that point to a drop. What's going on in the world right now? That's something that worries me right now for a short time to go down. There are many people who think that fix will be very bad, and I don't agree. I'll talk about that soon. Michael Saylor also talks a lot about how the US dollar system, which is also called the fiat system, is broken. I believe you understand. He does say something very important in this movie that I think is more about XRP than Bitcoin. I'll talk about this soon. This video is about what I think will happen with XRP. Let's talk about it after the video is over. Remember what I said at the start? Let's talk about your current interests, which are worth around $10 billion, 0 cents. On paper, there are gains of around 70%. And a lot of people would like to see that. When would you be willing to sell? When would it be smart to make money there? Someone once told me I'm going to buy the top forever. Bitcoin is the way to leave. It's the most important thing. Okay. The value of Bitcoin has reached $1 trillion right now. There are also brands like Apple, Google, and Microsoft. However, Bitcoin is not the same as the Magnificent Seven. It's a kind of money. It's not a company. There isn't enough room in those companies' capital models for 10 or $100 trillion in capital. Gold is worth 10 times as much as Bitcoin right now. The S&P index is going up, something that is worth more than and is worth $100 trillion. 0 cents is a safe place to keep money. Yes, and so is XRP. Keep in mind that not all of these cryptocurrencies are safe. They are mostly just a way to keep value and help people make money work better for them. Were you sure it was digital money? In every way. The paper money we use now is from the US and is the most important cash in the world. This new money is better. There are rules about how the money can be used, why it can't be printed, and how people can manage it. All of these things are very important for the blockchains and the money that lives in them in the future. This is what Michael Saylor said about it. It's a different kind of wealth. In that way, XRP and Bitcoin are the same. It does more things for me. I care more about how useful something is in the real world, the more use cases it has. Let's talk about taxes for a bit longer before we talk about how the price of XRP is changing. In this case, two things could happen. The Caboose letter has a pretty unique take on this problem, and I'd like to talk about it because I believe it deserves some attention. People say this news will shock the market on Monday. People think that the market might even make money in the end. Why do we say this? It's clear that President Trump is just trying to work things out. It's not even likely that these taxes will stay in place. I agree with this point of view. A new official just said that the U.S. told him ahead of time on the tax letter before it was sent. Also, markets were already preparing for these taxes going into the weekend. The market will be glad to hear that these taxes could be used as a negotiating tool in a trade deal. Right now, I want to know what you all think. What do you think the markets will do on Monday after the news of the attack? Is it possible that it will be good? Are you sure it's going to be green? Do you think it will be red? I want to know what you think. I still believe there is more room for us to descend. The markets put up a lot of pressure at this point. You can see that Bitcoin, XRP, and most of the other altcoins have lost value since their highest points. XRP used to be worth between $3.00 and $97.00, but now it's only worth $273.00. Let us now look at the signs that are more general. A very interesting story is also told. I only need to quickly look at one day's plan. Without a doubt, you can see that XRP is moving less quickly. That's right. This light has lost most of its benefits, as you can see. Also, no one has touched this candle in 24 hours. We've actually lost about 2.1%. RSI shows that we are way too high on the market, though. That's what I think is most important. Based on what I see here, where the daily overbought level is almost at its highest level, I think we've hit our short-term peak. Okay, the last time this happened, there was a pretty big fix. This is what I need to say. When was the last time this happened? When there were 100 of us. It wasn't even close to 100. It was 198. There was a pretty big change in the end. We might lose 7.76% that day. To put it another way, I do think that a fix is more likely every day.